practically speaking, let's talk about the fight for ballot access. Tell me how that's played out across other states. I know you said you have secured a spot in Texas.
Yes.
What are the mechanisms behind that? I mean, what's practically speaking, what do you have to do to make sure that you get ballot access in some of these states?
Many of the states, so we're currently on the ballot in 23 or 24.
Okay.
And we have ballot access battles going on in about another 20, 23, 4 states. In many of them, the state parties are well positioned to get their ballot access. They have fought these battles before. Usually it's collecting signatures, sometimes it's party registrations. So there are many struggles going on there. There are some states which have extremely difficult and high thresholds. Illinois and Pennsylvania, for example. You'll also get dragged into court and you'll get challenged, and then you risk being held responsible for hefty court fees, you know, millions of dollars. So these are very difficult, high-stakes battles, and we basically need to have a lot of volunteers out there in the field collecting those signatures. So far, knock on wood, we haven't missed any ballot access thresholds or deadlines.
Okay.
People are fighting angry and are determined that the public voice not be locked out of this election. It's actually, you know, the United States stands apart from all other democracies effectively in making it, in basically wiping out the opposition by allowing the political establishment to define its own you know, its own opposition, to define them out of existence, basically.
Is there any likelihood that you might reach the, 50% mark, public opinion poll threshold, to make it into any of the debates, or is ballot access really the main concern at the moment?
The first issue is the ballot access, because that really has to be front-loaded.
Yeah.
Once we've done that, you know, then the fight is to get the word out.
Is there a strategy to try to see if you can place well in a particular public opinion poll to make sure that you can get on at least one of the debates?
Yeah, exactly. And you know, the strategy is pretty much a common sense strategy, which is to mobilize those networks. They are already existing as networks. They're on the ground networks that are fighting for climate, that are fighting, you know, for immigrant rights, that are fighting for, you know, for decent wages. There are networks, very broad, students, for example, you know, who are basically indentured servants. There are 30 million of them. Students and recent graduates who are fighting the debt crisis, and they're well networked, and they're on Facebook. So just getting word out to students alone could go a long way to getting to that 15%. Add to that the cannabis network, which is also very well networked. You know, you got 15% essentially, right there. So it's not impossible, and you know, and it's the model of the organizing that went into Tahrir Square in Tunisia. And we have the makings of that right now, because we have a generation that has been locked out of jobs, that's been locked out of education, and that's been locked out of a climate future. They don't need persuading.